got divorced, I didn't just feel broken. I felt invisible. I went to church, but no one knew what to say. So they said nothing. And I realized this place that was supposed to be my refuge, my fortress, felt more like a courtroom. But there's a reason for it, and there's a way through it. I want to share with you what happened for me. I'm going to give you a couple things of what you have to do, because the church will not be the answer unless you do these things. So listen carefully, listen closely, or I'm going to run through why that matters and how I got through it, right? So first is that, when you get in there, you're in church, you're ashamed, you're confused, you're looking for comfort, you're looking for all of those things. And when you're in the divorce state, you are just, at least I was a wreck. I was just destroyed, absolutely crushed. And so then you walk into an environment where you're having conversations, or you're talking to people and all those things, and you're just kind of melted. And it will absolutely destroy you if you continue to try and do the same thing as you did before when you're in this state that is just broken and crushed. So there's a few things that I had to do. I had to first take a step back, just get aware, like, hey, I am not the same person I was before. I need to look at this differently, which is what you're doing right now. You are looking at this differently. You cannot look at it like you were before, right? So you're going through this. So, instead of trying to have, people read your mind and those sorts of things, I want to give you very specific things you can do that will. Church is a benefit. Church is needed. Church is helpful. You want it. Worshiping is powerful. Getting in God's presence is powerful, but you have to do this. You have to understand these things. So this is what I had to get into, right? It's that not everybody, most people don't know how to support divorced men or a pastor or even a friend. They have no idea. They actually have very little understanding unless they've already gone through it for themselves or with somebody very, very close. There's just so many details, and there's so much emotion, and there's so many things that most people you don't have that time at church to fill all those blanks in, right? You're in, you're out, it's this, it's that, you got kids. It's a big box. And then let's say you go into, maybe men's things, which is, I went in, sometimes at church going into men's things and realizing, and this is where you got to watch. This is very careful with this. Because your words are the power of life and death, blessing or cursing, you have to choose the right words. And when you're in that state and you're feeling dejected and no self-confidence, and then you want to share, you're sharing usually from that state, from that place. And you're sharing things that, sure, they happen. They're in the past. They're great to share, but are they the right people to share them with? And I'm going to say 99% of the time, they're not. You need to find counsel, godly counsel, wise counsel, hard conversation counsel. You don't just need to spew and splatter your mess all over people. They're not going to help you, and you're just going to relive the past. And remember, what you focus on grows. What you focus on is what you become, right? So we want to focus on the future. You want to focus on where you're going. You want to focus on leaders that are going to build you up into what God says about you, who you are, faith to faith, glory to glory. The old is gone, the new has come, all that sort of stuff. So remember, Proverbs 18:21, life and death are in the power of the tongue. So instead of rehearsing old pain, right, until you're ready, until you're focused on the future, leave those discussions out there. Don't go to church, worship, love Jesus, hear a great message. Maybe minimize the dialogue, which is what I did. Minimize the dialogue. Minimize the storytelling of what it is, okay? Remember Psalms 23:1, that the Lord is your shepherd, you lack nothing, right? Even if the church misses it, maybe they don't have all the programs for you, maybe your pastor just doesn't acknowledge it, that's fine. It's okay. The Lord is your shepherd. He knows front to back. In that season for me, and I was raised in church, I've had my whole life in church, huge ministries. I tell you what, I felt unnoticeable. I felt invisible. I felt like a ghost. But you know what I always remembered? The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. And he was my source. And he was my guide. And he was my trust. I want to leave that with you. So don't confuse the silence for judgment, right? A lot of times we're living with all of this in there, and it's hard for us to explain. And so many times you don't need to explain it. You just go to church, love Jesus, worship Jesus, go home, leave the discussions out, and leave them for godly counsel and wisdom from real people, real leaders, people that really can understand what's going on there. You've got to go for those conversations. So otherwise the church you're going to feel crushed. You're going to feel invisible. You're going to feel like they don't know you. They're going to feel judged, all those things. And most of the time that's true, but it's okay because you're going to control that by how you think and how you feel and what God's word says about you. So you go in and you have grace and you have those things. And you know what? You're going to heal. You're going to get through it. Why? Because God's word says that you will. You're going from glory to glory, faith to faith. You're focusing on the future of what God has for you. You're forgiven. You're a child of God. So if this is a message for you and you're feeling that and it's something that's really resonating with you where you're at, where you want to go, you're tired of the old, you're tired of rehearsing, you're tired of replaying, you need to build something that is going to strengthen your life, your future, balance your business, balance your kids, become a superhero at home, right? And in addition to that, there you go. You're going to have those kinds of things. If that's you, there's a description below. There's a link below. Let's schedule some time. Let's build something out for you that's going to put you where you're supposed to be at. God bless you. I'll see you on the next one.